but maybe you want to do it better.
Yeah, sure. I can take it. Um, the purpose of the sprint retrospective is to plan ways to increase quality and effectiveness. The team inspects how the last sprint went with regards to individuals, interactions, processes, tools, and their definition of done. Inspected elements often vary with the domain of work. Assumptions that led them astray are identified and their origins explored. The team discusses what went well during the sprint, what problems it encountered, and how those problems were or were not solved. The team identifies the most helpful changes to improve its effectiveness. The most impactful improvements are addressed as soon as possible. They may even be added to the sprint backlog for the next sprint. There we go.
Cool, thanks. So let's jump right ahead to the retrospective. I put the link here on the voice channel chat, and the board is this one, the Sprint 5 board down there. That's one. Um, okay, let's see. I think that's better getting there. Okay, it's just Joseph. Let's give him 1 minute. Are you able to join the board, Joseph?
Yeah, sorry, just having my internet's moving a tiny bit slow, so just you can continue, but just give me like 2 minutes and it should go through.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, well, you load up the board. We can start with some praise. And so, as usual, 10 minutes of praise on the praise channel here on Discord, which are going to start now. We have just 2 minutes left to get our praise in.
Okay.
Okay, so now we are done with the praises. Um, This is not an isolated event, so if anyone has any other praise to dish later on, just feel free to do so. Now we're going to start the retrospective itself, as usual. So, we go one question, then a discussion. We start with the continue, like what's going well. Remember that this is all about processes and the way we work, and not necessarily about what we deliver. Um, so, 10 minutes. Let's get started.
Pero bastante bien que
Feels like we're being a bit shy with the continue. You know, it's this one has been definitely a slower sprint, but let's try to get as much as possible so that we can keep learning. Even if we are repeating stuff from the last retrospective, as long as we feel we need to continue, we should put it down here. Well, I think I'm going to give about 30 seconds more and then close this one because we've slowed down quite a bit. Okay, I stopped the timer. I see Bear still writing. I'll just wait for him to finish, and then we can go for the discussion, which I'm going to put just 5 minutes in. Okay, so seems like this is it. We've got 5 minutes to chat. Does anybody wants to go first? 5, 4, 3, 2.
I can do it. Well, one thing that seems overall clear is like processes seem to be getting smoother, particularly all the payment stuff. Like we had a bunch of different things actually, and it was like the coordinate stuff, and then just the overall processing of just the general salary payments. But then there's also paying out all of the grants for the grant program, and even this weird thing for paying back the academy, and all these things seem to go pretty well. I mean, thanks to Bear, really a lot. So I think that's one. It feels like that's like a set of processes that are pretty tuned in at this point. And then it feels like we're making good strides on all the project management stuff too. Things in Notion. I mean, it just seems like we're we haven't been that stressed out in terms of there's just not a lot of stuff happening compared to say like a few months ago. But the process seems to be tuning nicely on the project management front. I will pass it to Joseph.
So yeah, I think now that we've kind of settled in my opinion anyway, with regards to using Notion, I think it's been a lot better than what we was kind of using before. I think the fact that we're able to customize, create stuff, take away stuff, and kind of use Notion as a forefront, especially in conjunction with the sprints. I think that NT's done Isaac's done a fabulous job with regards to our process for how we look at the sprints, how we allocate our tasks, and even in the categories as well. It makes it a lot easier to customize your own views so that you know what you're doing and you know what other people are doing. And that being said, I'll pass it on to Bear.
Yeah, I think we all agree on this. I think we're kind of like building a good structure for the team in terms of processes and how do we handle and manage projects. Because I think it's getting simpler now. We're getting used to it. We are getting the hang of it. And I think it's pretty powerful because maybe in the future, this model or this structure could be replicated into some other teams that start emerging or into some other groups that could emerge. I think that the model that we are building is really adequate to cover for the needs of the DAO as well as the coordination. I think we've become good to cover all these essential areas that were not covered before maybe, and now we're getting better at operating on them. So yeah, just really happy with that. And I'll pass it on to Isaac.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I think it all comes down to simplification to a big extent. Like, everything feels well, it's not perfect yet, right? But and probably won't ever be. But it feels like everything is so streamlined that I at least I personally feel like I don't have to think as much about processes or any stuff. Like, things just happen, and we have been able to create the space for things to just happen and be executed and be delivered, which I think it's nice, and it's definitely going to pay off whenever we have some more heavy work to do, I guess, like now, like probably for the upcoming sprint, that we have to start doing some serious work about the grants program. But yeah, in general, just that we have just less than 20 seconds left. I'm going to cancel this, and well, let me see. I don't think there's any, quite frankly, I don't think there's any actionable item from this question, like anything we can take and really transform into a task right away. Just seems like confirmations of things we are doing already. So that's good. Let's move on to the next one. I'm not sure if those post-its are from this retrospective, or maybe when I copied the template, I left some in there. Can anyone confirm? Are these from someone, any of you guys?
Not from me.
Okay. Oh.
No, not for me either. I was thinking, I don't know if maybe they were Nate's that he added now, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, let's just keep in them. No worries. Let's start now with the second question. Stop. What needs improvement? And I'll start the timer now. We have 10 minutes. All right, we seem to have slowed down. I'll wait 15, 30 seconds, and then we can move on. All right, I'll stop the timer here, and let's have 5 minutes of discussion about this question. Does anybody feels like starting first? 5.
Yeah, I can go first. So I was gonna write something, but someone kind of took my point with regards to what was it again? Oh yeah. Um Having, yeah, like with regards to we now have like this sprint has been a bit slow, and making a link between like project prospectus and sprints and keeping the flow of work happening. I definitely do agree with that. And with regards to that's it. I definitely do agree with that point. And just finding the balance and knowing what to kind of put in as tasks and daily duties, stuff like that. I'll pass it on to Beth.
Yeah, thank you. Well, for me, they were also kind of like reminders for myself on things that I would like to keep working on and keep improving in terms of the way we do financial reporting, in terms in relation with keep working on special individual and team accountability mechanisms that I think are important to always have in place. Same thing as we already have like the offboarding processes, things that we know are there, and that it's okay if we don't need, right? But whenever we do, they should be in place. And yeah, I also agree with this message saying that we should kind of like improve the daily stand-up messages. I think that's in one of the important individual accountability mechanisms that we should try to keep pushing forward. And yeah, I'll pass it on to Gideon.
Thanks, Bear. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just am pretty much echoing. I feel like one of the big things right now is, we've had a few sprints that have been a little bit slow, and I think part of that is the handoff between, the project prospectus. Like, we still need to get that nailed down. I think part of it, honestly, too, is just some of the uncertainty around the academy and like what that's going to do. We don't know if that relationship comes through, then that changes a lot of things. So it feels a little bit like, at least from my perspective, I'm kind of like holding back on like not stacking things too much, just so that we have that capacity if we need to deploy that. So that's something that we need to lock down on. I'm trying right now to just either, this is such a horrible phrase, the shit or get off the pot phrase. It's like, either let's do it or let's not do it, and then let's figure out what we're going to do instead. So that's feeling more urgent to me. It feels like it's kind of like hanging us up a little bit. I'll pass it on to Isaac.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I think as far as how we work, some of the stuff we need to get figured out is like how do we actually close the loop. I don't think we have now like that much pressure to complete work or to move things, and that's a mixture of both needing to translate the prior perspectives into something that's more actionable, I guess, which we are working on already, but also at the end of the funnel or to complete the loop, we we have no one or very little people or community to take us accountable, to hold us accountable, and so I think we also really need to uh, um, prioritize the community call, but also the efforts to build a community on itself that sort of we provide service for, but also we depend on them because they will most likely hold us accountable. And that's also part of, we with the transition we took a lot of time and effort to build this team, and now I think we have to start looking outwards and doing things, just focusing more on community building, which I think we are kind of doing, or we are kind of preparing to do so with the grants program and the academy and all of that. But gotta do it. Um, then there's also a few other things that are, I guess, smaller or not as high priority, like with accountability and people. We've had people. We have less calls, but we have more people not joining. Like today, we don't have Nate and Mastermind, and on some plannings, there's people missing, and some people have justifications, some not necessarily, but it's just weird. And we gotta fix that because sprints depend on us working very good as a team. Uh, Before we go to the next question, to the final one, just wondering if there's any punctual and very actionable items we want to get out of this one. I just put here the community call. That's something we can work on very easily and get scheduled for this sprint. Um, yeah, just wondering if anybody can think of something else.
I think one thing is, Isaac, you and I maybe sitting down and taking the project prospectus and figuring out how to tighten that loop. I think what you and Tam came up with in terms of like the calendar and spreading it out is a good step in that direction. And maybe we just need to like take that, put it into just like put it into Notion and then figure out what the step is between putting it in that calendar view and then also then turning that into projects and tasks.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. I actually had one. I actually had that as one task for this sprint, but I was just not able to really complete it or advance much. Um, yeah. Something else? Anything else? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So let's jump right at the next one. We have 2 minutes to the top of the hour, so we're probably just taking this retro up till um, past 10 or 15 minutes. I hope that's fine with everyone, but if anyone has to jump off, feel free to do so. And let's get this last one. Just ideas to try. And I start the timer now. we are getting stuck in this one. Maybe let's just wait 2 minutes or 1 minute and something more on this question. From the three questions on the retrospective, this is always the hardest one, because a lot of the ideas or things phrased as ideas are already in another questions. We just take it as an opportunity to think of um, things that we want to happen, that we want to see happening in this sprint that's starting tomorrow. All right. Well, I stopped the timer. Not so much going on. Does anybody wants to kick this off and just maybe just read or chat your mind? I'm going to put 5 minutes for the sake of time, but maybe we can do this one more relaxed. Like if someone doesn't have anything to say, it's also fine.
I'll go first. Yeah, I was just going to say what I wrote down with regards to it doesn't need to be everyone, but yeah, just like joining it doesn't even to be the scheduled time, but just even scheduling time with me with regards to like communications for each sprint, what you would want to see as our overall and arching communication effort for each sprint, or even for the month, for whatever the case may be. That's something that I feel like we can do, and then I'll pass it over to Gideon.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to run in a second, but yeah, I think just the things I wrote up there. One is like I think the daily stand-ups. Let's just try to simplify those messages so that we can actually minimize the amount of time it takes to crank them out. I think that'll help to get more regular commitment on that. And then I think the main one of the main things is let's really nail this handoff between the project perspectives. Like it feels like we're so close on getting these sprints really humming. It's just like tomorrow. I still am not sure what is going to go into this coming sprint, and that's not a good sign. Like I think as a team we need to have some better way of leading into sprints so that it's not just like kind of a surprise what the plan is going to be for this next sprint. So I think if we can really nail that in this sprint, that would be a huge step forward. And I need to run right now. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Isaac.
Thanks, Iker. You want to say something, Bear?
Yeah, not much to add really. I agree with what Gideon said. Yeah, no, I think we need to figure that out, and that's probably gonna help us also to generate more ideas to try at the end of the sprints. Right now, I don't have much to add.
Cool. Yeah, me neither. Honestly, I think those are great ideas. I just don't have a lot more to add. Got at least for the daily stand-up messages that I know, especially Gideon has been sort of asking a bit about them. I want to have a chat with Tam just to, I guess, just to understand them or implications or the reason why, because there's probably a reason why, and just see what she recommends. Um, but yeah, um, yep, that's it. I think we can close it now. If anyone, especially from these ideas to try next or the actionable items that I have put down there, feels particularly excited about any one of them or inspired, just feel free to take them into consideration for your work on the next sprint. And once again, just remember to come prepared tomorrow. And if you need any quick last minute help, just reach out and I'm happy to. With that said, we can say we are officially done for this retro today, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Just a quick question, Isaac.
Mhm.
Do you usually add these action items or ideas to try to the backlog, or should we add them? How does that process work?
If there's any actionable item that we sort of assign right away, I do add it. Like these ones, I'll probably just add them. But if they look more like spare ideas, aren't really fleshed out, or no one felt like they want to take on them, I don't necessarily do it unless I think it's something like really important. Because then, because we have so much autonomy on the planning, then we may end up with a really long and clogged backlog, which is not ideal. So it's I don't know if that completely answers your question, because it just depends on a bunch of stuff. But
You know,
I do check the retro.
that makes sense. Yeah, it's okay. I was just saying it because, for example, I was looking at the past sprints, like the past boards, and I think there was one where I couldn't attend, and there were like cool ideas there that I haven't seen. So I thought that, oh, maybe it would be nice to have those, or maybe they are already in the backlog. I wasn't sure. That's why I was asking, but that makes sense what you're saying. As long as there's like someone interested or like an owner, it makes sense to add.
Yeah,
Okay.
that or really high priority. That's sort of the way I'm trying to go about.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you, Isaac.
Cool.
Thank you, everyone.
See you later, guys. Bye.